Okay. Year of Gina, you're first. Hi, Year of Gina. How are you? Nice to see you on this Thursday. It's Thursday. There is the Martha Beck. Come back, the Martha Beck. If you go live with Beck, that's right. We're talking today with the Martha Beck. She came on so fast, I was going to introduce her, but there she was.
There I am.
Hi, the Martha Beck.
Hi, the Mariashriver. How are you doing?
You always say like, I'm watching you go, hi, I'm Martha Beck. Who is Martha Beck? Martha Beck is the Martha Beck. My friend. That's who Martha Beck is. My friend, my guide.
Oh, that's the best thing.
Lantern, my light post, bestseller author. How are we?
I'm great. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm so excited about this new course, Designing Your Life. Wow, this is exactly what we need. I want to just preface this, first of all, by saying good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Martha is in the East Coast, so that's almost dinner time. I'm just kind of out of lunch time, and wherever you're joining us from, Chicago, London,
Wow.
There's James from London, and people come here. India, Pittsburgh, Vegas. So we're covered everywhere. Finding Your North Star put me on the best career track. That was one of Martha's books. So let me back up and just say Martha is a great friend of mine, literally a guide to me into the open field. She's just had her new book hit the New York Times bestseller list. So she has been out and about everywhere. Getting that, and I want to I have a copy. Can you bring Cindy the copy? I just want to show it to everybody so they can order it if they haven't ordered it. There it is. There it is.
And look what's here.
Kill it. There it is. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get Martha's new book, and it gives you the path to integrity. But right now, what we're going to talk about is Martha's new course. That you can join after you've read the book, or even if you haven't read the book. Martha has a course for all of us coming out of COVID, returning to what? Going back to a new what? And I love this because Martha, you actually designed this course for this moment in time. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we're in another transition time, right? Like people were freaked out when we had to go into lockdown and they had to grieve for what they'd lost. And you and I talked a lot about that. And then we were talking the other day about people are now freaking out because the lockdowns are lifting and people are going, wait, now what? What next? So we're standing on a threshold, and a threshold is a weird place. You're neither in the next thing nor quite in the old thing. You're sort of in between. And in like traditional cultures, this is seen as magical because you're not in any place. And so on the threshold of something, you can use magic. You can create whatever you want to be and wherever you want to go. So yeah, I was like, I want to do that with the folks because I think people are feeling a lot of, what I hear is overwhelm and paralysis. Like,
yeah, it's so interesting that you say that because the other day I went to turn on the news. And the first thing that I heard when I pressed the on button was, busy is back. Busy is back. Everything is opening up. The mask mandates are gone. People are busy. It's back. It's normal. It's great. And I was like, right? That's how I felt. And I was like, I don't want busy to be back.
I don't either.
I love the idea that you've created a course or are creating a course for us to tap in to the magic of this moment and redesign our lives to fit this moment, right?
Yeah, because everything's been disrupted and it's like plowing a field. Like we didn't know anything but busy, right? We were just always busy. That's how you are a productive citizen. And then I remember when everything shut down last April 2019, I remember thinking, oh goodness, I don't have it. Nobody's coming and nobody's going. And this quiet came. And Now, I don't think all of us want to go right back to the way things were before. So the field has been plowed to grow something new, right? If your life's been disrupted, grab the moment and use it to go into a creativity mindset. That's what we're teaching in this course. How to switch into a creativity mindset instead of the way things are done, or I'm overwhelmed and busy and paralyzed. All of that comes from a certain part of the brain that we use preferentially. But in a place like now, when things are unknown, we need to switch to a different brain region, literally, neurologically. And when you do that, you go from anxiety to peace, and you go from making things the way they were to making a whole new thing. So like you now know you don't want to be.
How do you teach that, Martha? How do you teach? So if people are going to sign up for your course, and you can go on marthabeck.com and go to the Wayfinders course, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you teach people to have or to tap into creativity mindset, to tap into magic when they feel anxious and paralyzed?
It's so interesting because I started this when I think I must have been 21 years old when I was teaching an art class as a teaching fellow at Harvard. And I taught with this brilliant professor, and his deal was everybody can draw, everybody's equally creative, but the brain needs to be switched. If you can write your name, you can paint a masterpiece, but your brain may not know how to let go of the way it sees things. So right then, what we would do is we'd use exercises to mix people up. Like, we won't be doing this in the course I'm teaching now, but we like drawing with both hands or writing with both hands at the same time in opposite directions. It literally confuses the brain. And so the part that's used to doing things shuts down and something else wakes up. And so we do these sort of ways of letting the brain let go. And then you give it a question, like, you know, we were teaching an art class. So it was like, okay, now draw this. And suddenly they could draw much better just because they've mixed up those brain paths. And now that I coach people, I do that with people's lives. Like, here's the issue. You know, you don't want to be as busy as you were before, but you don't want it to be locked down forever. So that's the question. Now, you can do simple exercises like if you fold your arms, try folding your arms. Okay. And now fold them with the opposite arm on top. Oh, you did that fast. That's really unusual. Have you practiced that?
No.
You're just good at this stuff. But even like switching to do something with your opposite hand will make your brain let go of the usual way it's doing things, and then new things slip in. So a really ordinary way that you can do this is to go out driving or walking. Have you ever done that? You go out with a question in your mind, and as you drive or you walk, your brain finally lets go and something comes in.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, there I am. There
Woo!
I am.
Am I there? I don't see
myself.
You're
there. You're there.
Okay.
You were talking about walking out into or driving out with one thought, and actually a completely different thought comes in.
Yeah, once you let go. So the whole secret of a creativity mindset and creating a life that you want is not grabbing something new or learning something new. It's letting go of what you're used to. And so a lot of us got a chance to do that involuntarily during the pandemic. And now we think we have to go back to a life without many options. And the opposite is true. Like, as things shift, you could create anything.
Isn't it that most people think they have to go back to what they had, and they don't want to go back to what they had, but then creating something new, if you've got kids at home, if you need to pay the bills, which everybody does, if you have something that exists, but you don't want to go back. So it's kind of feels overwhelming, which is why we have every book on the bestseller list is about anxiety, right?
Right.
It's like, I'm so anxious, I don't know where to, so kind of telling people to let go. Is that plausible?
Yeah, it really is, because I mean, if you talk about master athletes or brilliant mathematicians or anything, you'll find that the place where the creativity comes and all the productivity comes is in a state of flow, right? And there's no anxiety in flow. And so if you're hanging on to anxiety, so there's a part of the brain on the left side that gets anxious, and the part that's right on top of that tries to push things in order, tries to say what goes after this, like really careful structuring. That's what our culture teaches us to use. That's what we use in school. There's another part of the brain that has no anxiety. It has pure, like, fascination with the world. It's like a little baby going, oh my God, everything's so amazing. And on top of that is the part of us that connects to something deep and mystical and natural and divine. So it's a really sweet place to live. Now, I know, like, I switch into it partly by drawing and painting pictures, although this is not an art course. But you did that recently. You sent me a picture of a painting you'd done that was really, really good. Remember that?
Yeah.
And how did you feel painting that?
I felt this is a picture I painted in January, December, and I don't consider myself an artist on that canvas, but more an artist of my own life. But I didn't think I could paint. And then I was like, wow, I actually can paint. I felt proud of myself. I liked it. And I've since done two more. They're kind of rudimentary, but I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing what comes out of me. And so I think that, that's a kind of a whole new world that opens up. Somebody on here was saying, oh, I was cooking. I was in a cooking job and now I make jewelry. So I have switched. So tell me, Martha, how long is the course and what can people expect?
It's a 6-week course, and it goes through the 21st of June to August 2nd. And you can expect to treat everything in your life as a design project. Like, a business is an amazing thing to build. I've watched you build your business, right? And you watched me build mine. Writing a book is obviously a creative endeavor. Scheduling your kids, how do they grow up? What do you want them to learn? Being able to address those things creatively. Every problem that you bring, we can address creatively by going into this creativity mindset. And you can register till next Thursday, June 10th, or let's say you can go to marthabeck.com or see my stories for the direct link. This is what I was told to say.
Yeah. So let me just say that slowly. This is a 6-week course to help you tap into your creativity, to help you redesign or design a life that takes advantage of the last year and a half that we've all been in, and helps you tap into what you want to keep, what you want to look into, what you want to create, right? And Martha will really walk you through designing, redesigning your life, looking at your life as a design project, right?
Yeah, and learning that to see it that way makes it all fun. Like, because that is the part of the brain that creates and is productive, is actually in a state of joy and flow all the time. And it really is kind of the antidote to the anxiety of too many choices. But we don't know how to do it.
A lot of times, like, oh, if I design my life, but how am I going to make a living? I have bills to pay. I have things to get done. I can't just go and design my life. I'm 40 or 45. I have 2 kids and bills.
I've been doing this with people for the last 30 years, and it's always, that's the first thing. How do I make money? And that is the most creative question. I remember once sitting with a group of students, and this guy wanted to travel the world. And he said, but I have to work for a certain amount of time to get the money to travel the world. And the group sat there, and within about 10 minutes, we'd thought of 3 or 4 ways for him to go around the world starting the next day without, building up any cash. He doesn't have to go to work in the traditional way to have the experience he wanted. So yeah, making money is a big deal, but making experience is even better. And that's what I did primarily. I wanted to work with people's lives, and then they started paying me, and I was astonished. I was like, that's a weird way to make money. But if you get creative, and if you're really excited about your self-expression in the world, people tend to be drawn to that energy, and there's a way you can provide value, and they will give you money or experience of some kind that will make your life work.
You've just come off of this, or you're still kind of in it, a really extensive tour for your book, talking about integrity and designing a life of integrity and how to live out a life of integrity. What have you felt from all the interviews you've been doing? What have you been feeling from how people are feeling?
Well, what people keep saying is, oh, you wrote a book about integrity at the perfect time. I desperately need this right now. And I thought, has there ever been a bad time for integrity? But it's almost like people feel thirsty because things are broken up. And I thought integrity, where you bring everything into one whole self, right? Being in integrity is just being yourself, your whole self, and nothing but yourself. And I thought, great, that is peace, that is bliss. I'm there, I'm happy a lot of the time. And what I didn't realize was that when you go into that peaceful space, something expresses itself through you almost explosively that wants to play in the world and make beautiful things that help you survive. I mean, it's you get into integrity, and the very next thing that happens is creativity. You go into integrity, you get creativity, and I thought, wow, let's grab that and shape it in a way that can help the peoples.
I love that. I think so many people, and this is something I also have struggled with, right? The idea of living your life from a place of joy and being able to make a living from that place,
yeah,
right, is a novelty for so many people. They're like, I have over here what I love, but I have over here what I do,
right.
what I have to do, and trying to figure out how to combine those two so that you can live a life you love. As Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. Right? As Martha says, follow your integrity, live your life intact, enjoy, design a life that allows you to do that. That's really what Martha is talking about teaching, is teaching you, me, all of us, how to craft and design a life that puts us intact, in flow, in our joy, and allows us to be self-sufficient at the same time, right?
Exactly. And you'll find that that has more worth to it than any other way you could live. And there's always a way to make a life that is worth something work for you in every way. So it's.
Are you excited? Are you excited?
I am
about
so
that?
excited. Because this is my favorite. I feel like a kid in a candy store. I love doing this stuff with people. So I haven't been coaching people one-on-one. So this is really, really exciting for me.
I love that because Martha teaches people how to be coaches, teaches people how to pick up their lives, put their lives back together. But this is kind of one of the few times I've heard you by saying like how to take advantage of this moment and redesign. Where it's not about picking you up from the ground and putting you back together again, right? It's about opening up your imagination, taking the lid off your head here and thinking.
I think if we start to live this way as individuals, it's so intoxicating and it's so like contagious that we could sort of create a ripple effect that would create a more joyful, just society that works for people better than the one we had before the lockdown, better than we've ever had potentially.
So people are asking here, does it cost to take the class? Yeah, I think the class does cost.
It's like it's $297 for 6 weeks course. Yes, with a two payment plan.
It's a 2-payment plan. You can go on to marthabeck.com. The sales page for the course is marthabeck.com/practical wayfinding. And it's a 6-week course. And you can pay in 2 different installments. And it will help you tap into your creative mindset and redesign or design a life that works for who you are at this moment in June 2021, right?
Right. Absolutely. And who knows, you'll go on to change the world in some way. And it's going to be really fun, you guys.
I think it says here, do we get a certificate? Is it a course where we can get any kind of certificate?
I don't think so. No, no, not really.
Yeah. Well, you can get a certificate that just says I went to Martha Beck's course.
That's true. A certificate. You can design a certificate. You can create a life of designing certificates. Why not?
So several people said here, does the course follow your book in any way?
Not really. It's new material. It's stuff that, the last book was really about going into the darkness of your soul and coming out into the light on the other side, right? And this one is about when you're already playing in the light, how your individual expressiveness changes your life, changes the world, and builds something that's never been before. So it is moving on, but it's moving on into a place that I've been obsessed with since, and have been teaching since I was in my early 20s.
So that is such a beautiful idea. It's moving forward, moving into the new, moving. I think people get super anxious when they think about going back, right? Going back to normal. But this is about moving forward at the pace that works for you. And I have to say that when I saw that Busy is Back, I almost flipped. I was like, oh my God, I don't want that.
Oh.
I think that if you are interested in your creativity, if you are interested in redesigning or designing a life that takes advantage of where you find yourself at this specific time, this is the course, and this is the teacher. This is the teacher, what the Rumi quote is, right? When you're ready, the teacher will appear.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Yeah.
There you go. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And here she is. So how much do we need to know about what we want to do in the world at the start of the course is the question.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All you have to know is, does this thing make you happy? Does that thing make you happy? And if what Maria's saying about seeing that sign that said Busy is Back, and it's just kind of clenched, wherever you see something that makes you go, oh no, that's telling you that should not be part of the life you design coming out of this. When you feel something drawing you forward, when it's almost like a magnetic pull towards something, when you're fascinated, that's not just saying this is interesting to you. That's saying build a life from this. And I know people think, oh, well, I can't just, you go into these stereotypical things of, well, I can't just dance for a living. I don't mean breaking it down into the way the old system did, where you're either at the office or you're an artist in a garret somewhere. I mean dramatically breaking the mold, doing something that expresses your being in the world and also makes the world a better place. And then and the interconnection between it is the design. So, like, do you mind if I use you as a guinea pig, Maria? Because you have written best-selling books. You have made this bar, nutritious bar, right? Moss bar. That is really, what's that for? It's for making people.
It's a protein bar that it's coming out in the fall. Yeah. So
I'm
trying to be a food entrepreneur.
You just started your own publishing imprint. You've been a journalist. I mean, you're not going to the old ways. You had a job, you did motherhood right down to the, last dotting the last I and crossing the last T. And now you're going, you know what? I'm going to make a protein bar and then open a publishing imprint. Who cares? That's the kind of recombination of things, because creativity doesn't bring something out of nothing. It takes what we've got and it rearranges it into something that's never been before. And your life, the potential for us now with the technology and with the social structure we have, the potential to create a life that is absolutely individual and still productive and remunerative, that will still make you a living. It has never been this possible. It's never been this easy.
That is a great way of thinking. It's never been this possible. I don't know if easy is the right word, but it's never been this possible. And it's open, really, I think what you're saying is it's open to each and every one of us. So I think it's so great that Martha is doing this. Once again, go to marthabeck.com/practical-wayfinding. And we'll put this conversation up. We'll put this information up. Martha has been my teacher. She's taught so many people, and she really does lead you to your light, because remember, your light is different from your light, which is different from your life, and she leads you to your life. And that's a really good teacher. She doesn't tell you that you should be or you should do this or that, but she leads you to what feels right for you. And so that's what I really want to do a shout out about this incredible woman.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I'm so excited to see how people design their lives, and I'm so excited to see you in action. So, Martha,
thank you.
Remember, everybody, and tell a friend, pass it on. we'll have a whole creative society. Wouldn't that be wonderful? A society that's operating from a place of joy and creativity. Ooh. Oh yeah, and she's going to write a piece about this next week in the Sunday paper too. So
yeah.
there you have that too. So you're going to have Martha Beck all over the place. There you go. It says, can someone put out the link to register? Martha will put that in her stories. She'll put out the link to register in her stories, because I can't do that as we're speaking. But I think we got to as many of the questions, I think, as possible that I could. So that was, I think we did all of that. Turn off the questions, cancel. Okay. I don't know how do I get that? Martha, there you are. Oh,
hi.
Hi. Okay. Well, anyway, it's all dark here now. But anyway, I love you. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.